Thank you for staying tuned at Citizen FM 93.7. My name is Lawrence Umoette. It's day 2 of our review series. On the program today, we intend to critically assess the positions of the candidates, the presidential candidates, who are seeking our votes ahead of the 2023 general elections. Since the flag off of political campaigns in the last days of September 2022, candidates in the various political parties have gone to town with promises of what they intend to do. The promises are endless. Today we will scrutinize the position of some of the presidential candidates who have been on insight. And there are a lot of issues to talk about. One of them is the energy challenge in the country. Virtually every presidential candidate has a position on that. And this is one challenge that over the years have really put pressure on other sectors of the country. And so, what are the presidential candidates talking about the energy situation in the country? Power, fuel, and everything in that sector. Today we will take a look at four of the presidential candidates who have been on Insight last year and what they said about their position and what they said about their intention also to tackle the energy crisis. We also have other issues that we will look at in the course of the week. The security situation is still top on the ladder, and also we have concerns for the health sector. Access to affordable health care is becoming more of a mirage in this country. What are the candidates saying about all these critical sectors? But today we will flag off this series with the challenge of the energy sector. And we have lined up 4 of the presidential candidates and what they are saying about their intention to tackle this critical challenge that has really been of great importance in the country. So why don't you just sit back and enjoy the show? You can join us on our live stream on YouTube by typing in Citizen FM 93.7. You can also listen to us online on www.citizenfm8.ng. Meanwhile, you can also follow us on social media platforms. On Facebook at Citizen FM Abuja, on Instagram at Citizen FM 937, and also on Twitter at Citizen FM 937. So that's how we are going to roll today in the next 45 minutes or thereabout. Inside will return in a moment. Please don't go away. Thank you for staying tuned. It's still Insight on Citizen FM 93.7. The time is 17 minutes past 10, and my name is Lawrence Umoette. So, the first to go will be Prince Adewale Adebayo, who is the presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party. What is the position of the SDP concerning the energy situation in Nigeria? Let's listen to him. will your government tackle these issues?
First, it will tackle it with truth, because the truth is what they lack. You know, when you take someone to the hospital and the person says he has a stomach ache, but actually the person has a toothache. So there is no way you can have a cure. Because you say you have a stomach ache, they will not call a dentist. They will come and someone who do internal medicine. And they'll be wasting their time. And they'll be doing diagnosis. And if the person says, my stomach is aching me, there's no doctor in the world that can argue with that person. The person will be rolling on the ground and say, my stomach is aching me. What can a doctor do? So they will say, okay, change the food, do this. Long and short of it is that all these problems are not the real problems. Subsidy is not the problem. It's the corruption that is the problem. If they are selling bread for 20 naira, and you realize that the average person cannot pay more than 5 naira for bread, so why will you let them be selling bread for 20 naira? So in many countries, they subsidize bread, like Egypt. So they will say, you know what, let's get the government to produce more bread, so the price of bread can come down. Let us remove import levy from those who are importing wheat, so that the price of bread can come down. So the price of bread will come from 20 naira to 8 naira. But the government will say, but 8 naira is still too high for the people. 5 naira is what they can pay. So the government, for that reason, may decide to tax properties of rich people or expensive hotels where people go and buy expensive food. So that is, so if somebody can buy a glass of champagne for 100,000 naira, let us add 10,000 naira on top of it. So we'll get all these 10,000 and use it to subsidize bread for the poor. So we'll sell bread at 4 naira. Even though the poor can afford it at 5 naira, the poor will be comfortable. They won't have fear that the time is coming when I cannot afford bread. That's what it calls subsidy. It's always self-paying. But in this scenario I painted, if they now say, okay, we are subsidizing bread, then they're not producing the bread. So the price of bread is supposed to be 20 naira, and every month they change it to 30 naira, 35 naira. Not only that, the number of bread being sold to the people is 1 million loaves of bread. They go and write in the book, 30 million loaves of bread is consumed in Abuja. Who are the people eating the bread? Where are they coming from? I have my neighbors. They don't know nobody eats bread anymore. So let's see of us eat bread. Why are you saying you are paying so much money to supply 30 million loaves of bread? That's what is happening in our petroleum sector. Petrol that we cannot consume unless everybody in Nigeria has a car and it is on the road all the time. That's where you can consume the quantity they claim to be subsidizing. The same thing with the school feeding program. Except the children don't study anymore and they eat from morning till night. That's where you can consume all that money. So bottom line is that when we come into government, you will see that the subsidy from pay will disappear because one, all those billionaires who are giving money to politicians now to sponsor them in so that they can continue to collect subsidy money, we discover that when we come, we only look at what is actually consumed. Secondly, we fix the refineries to be able to supply a basic thing. And after all, please let us understand, of all the petroleum products or byproducts, only gasoline, petrol is subsidized. Diesel is not subsidized. Kerosene, which the poor use to feeding, is not subsidized. So it's very easy for me to fix it, provided that people in my government will now be looking for opportunity to be taking away $500 billion every month. That is where the problem comes. When people come into government and they see an opportunity to be taking away 500 billion every month and share it, whatever they say at the beginning, when they come in, they will join them. Because right now, as they're campaigning, those who are collecting subsidy money are giving a lot of money to politicians. So when they come in, they'll just say, oh, I have a house for you in Dubai. I have this house for you in Lagos. Your children that are schooling abroad, I will be paying. So So they share the money. It's not the subsidy that's the problem. It is the lack of patriotism and the sheer greed of those who are in government. That's what is keeping, that's what we are financing. The petroleum consumption is not the problem.
Okay, the second part of the question, which was on power. How do you tackle that?
Power is, three things you do in power. One, you look at low consuming powers. For example, household. Majority of Nigerians are not talking of power for industries. Majority just want to watch TV, iron their clothes, be able to have light at night, be able to do basic things. The children want to study, want to operate a farm. That's the first level. That first level we can solve within 18 months. Because all you need to do is to put solar panel and all of that across. For people who have done that many times, and I've done that in my own private life. So if your reporter is interested, you can go to all my houses, you will see. You can go to my law office, you will see that we are independent of all this power. For 14 years, I've never joined Nigeria shouting up NEPA. So that can be done. And I've given that advice to Obasanjo's government since September 2001. I told them, this is your integrated power thing. You can't do it. It's too complex for you. You don't have the executive capacity to do it. And there's something we call in management, the project management, called executive decapitation. Executive decapitation happens when you change the minister, you change the MD of NEPA. The next person who comes cannot continue with what the other person was doing before you start fresh. So you continue to do that all over and you have a problem. Second thing we're going to do is the clusters. There are certain places where you can generate power, but your problem is transmission. So you want to make sure that you don't transmit beyond 100 kilometers. So that's the next, that one's easy. Bayelsa, Lagos, Ogun, Delta, Edo, Ondo, rivers, Cross River, those are riverine maritime states. So those maritime states, they can generate power themselves. If you want to have to borrow a barge, it will take like a barge to travel from Canada or Spain or Russia. In 6 months, you will set up and you can generate enough and you can localize that distribution. The third phase is, another one you can also do floating solar in many of our states, even Sokoto River, on top of the river, and other places you can generate emergency power. So that may not address 100% of our power need. That may even address like 45% of our power need, but it will reach 99% of the population. So those who will not have to deal with, who will not rely on NIPP, are big industries, flour mills, all those other things for industrial. So that's how I'm going to do it. So that way, we will be able to solve the problem practically and immediately. So it won't be the case that, for example, if a village somewhere in Nigeria that has like 300 houses in the village, and the average consumption in the village about 7 kilowatts down. That's all. They don't live at 7 kilowatts per house. So, but they have to now run cable, transmission line, step down station, our transformer. So if one transformer just has a fault, all the power is lost. It's not done. We can't take the activity at all.
How will your government tackle this Yes, that was Prince Adewale Adebayo, presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, speaking about what the SDP would do concerning the challenge of the energy sector. He says his party, if given the opportunity by Nigerians, will tackle the corruption in the system. His party, if it comes to power, will engage in proper audits of the system and make sure that the billions of naira currently being siphoned in that sector through corruption and other no-some means will be taken care of. So that is the position of the SDP, and I hope that Nigerians are noting that, so that when the time comes, they will be called out if they deviate from this. That is the essence of this. That is the essence of democracy. Note the promises, and when the time comes, call them out if they deviate from those policies. So that's the SDP. After the SDP, we also had another presidential candidate on Insight, Umoette Sowore, who is the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress. He also gave his take on how his party will tackle the energy crisis. Let's listen to Umoette Sowore on this.
A country is never going to develop without an energy source that is sustainable and constant. What has been the issue is that we have not developed our power sector the way we should, electricity now. But that is not the only thing affecting the Nigerian people. The Nigerian people have an issue of, cooking gas, industrial gas supplies. We have issue of supply of petroleum resources, particularly diesel, kerosene, jet A1 fuel. And I want to say before I start dabbling into a solution that without an energy source that is constant and sustainable and reliable, this country is never going to develop. Now, you're hearing it from me, and I don't think I'm saying anything very too powerful or, unheard of. But the solution is to first and foremost look at how to develop generation very quickly. We're at a miserable 7,000 megawatts of electricity at this point. We need to go to 24 and eventually 60,000 megawatts in 8 years. And that's starting from 2023. 8 years from there, we must get to 60,000 at the minimum. And then while we are doing that, also developing our transmission capability and distribution networks across the country. And the way to do it is to adopt an energy mix strategy that involves using particularly renewable energy sources. I have been quoted of saying this, that if we can get Sambisa Forest back from Boko Haram, we can make it a solar farm that would generate only less than 5,000 megawatts of electricity. We need to look for ways of increasing the hydro opportunities that we have, including, and I should say this because a lot of people don't know why Kogi is flooded today. A lot of people don't know why Anambra is underwater today and Bayelsa is underwater. In 1983, there was a lake in Cameroon, I think it's called Lagdo Lake, and they built a dam on their own side of it. And Nigeria was supposed to build its own dam that would generate electricity if they wanted on it. Nigeria refused. As Nigeria has always failed, they failed to do that. And every year now, when the dam is full in Cameroon, they tell Nigeria, we're going to open the dam because we don't want our own side of this
to be flooded.
So they open the dam, and before you know it, Kogi is down, Anambra is down, parts of Delta is down with flooding. Nasarawa is down, and these are not the kind of floods that destroy just 5 houses. They wipe out entire villages, sometimes towns, and they kill lots of our people, and they destroy agricultural farms. They destroy the ecosystems as we know them. And so hydro is also very important. And then the proper rehabilitation of the power stations we have, which will take us immediately upon arrival in office, that'll take us to 10,000 or thereabout, because we have all these gas plants. I have their records, and what they are built to produce and what they are producing is nothing to write home about.
Okay.
So to such an extent that it is very, very important that we elect people who understand these things, though, because, under the People's Democratic Party government, they spent $16 billion to buy Nigerian darkness. But, a country...
Yes, that was the presidential candidate of the AAC. That's Umoette Showore, the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, speaking about his intention, if given the opportunity by Nigerians, how the party intends to tackle the energy challenge in Nigeria. And he also spoke along the same lines with the SDP candidate, saying that the corruption in the system stinks to high heaven, and his party will make sure that it embarks on the cleansing of that industry to ensure that what has been a protracted challenge for several governments will be tackled by the AAC. So that's the position of the AAC. What do you think about those positions of the AAC and the SDP? You can call us on our phone lines. The lines are open now on 0903 2229797. You can also call us on 0818 205, or you can call us on 0808 2222037. Any of these numbers, you can send us a WhatsApp message and let us know where you're writing in from, and we will be glad to read out your message. Once again, the numbers to call are 0903 2229797 or 0818 2222005, or you can also call us on 0808 2222037. You can also join us on our live stream on YouTube. Just type in Citizen FM 93.7, and you can also listen to us online on www.citizenfm.ng. This is in addition to our social media platforms that you can also interact with us on Facebook at Citizen FM Abuja, on Instagram at Citizen FM 937, and also on Twitter at Citizen FM 937. So that's how we're going to do it now. Let us know what you think about the positions of these presidential candidates and what they say about the energy challenge in Nigeria. When we return, we'll take a short break now. Well, when we return, we still have two other presidential candidates who appeared on Insight and what they said about their intention to tackle the energy crisis. Insight will return in a moment. Please don't go away.
your legs, cover yourself. We make them feel as though by being born female, they're already guilty of something.
So I think right now we have the chance to be heard, and that's why we're doing it. We're all doing it because we're asking to try and elicit change.
No woman should sit down and allow a man to speak about her reproductive rights.
But it is about opening spaces for other women and not to be seen as token, and that because I'm a woman, I'm only speaking about women at the table. No, I'm speaking about the side of the table that is empty and that women have to be there. So
I want us to leave this world better than we found it. And how I choose to affect change is by speaking up, by being the first, and by being the dominant.
Over 4 billion of the world's population are girls and women, also faced with challenges that affect our world and contributing solutions to them. Let's have conversations and get some answers to them through their eyes and voices. Tune in to Perspectives, where we discuss important issues ranging from climate change, politics, health, the economy, and lifestyle on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Weekdays from midday. Perspectives. Conversations that matter.
Citizens Tech Talk with Mina, bringing you news updates on digital technology around us, discussing the latest development and how technology can enrich you and make your life more exciting. Citizens Tech Talk with Mina, welcome to our world of technology. Every Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 12, Citizens Tech Talk with Mina, expanding our global reach through technology.
I bet it crossed your mind. Stay connected to the Super Citizen Show as we enjoy a great radio experience on 93.7 Citizen FM Abuja. It's the full package. Let's take you back, way back. Let's celebrate the African people.
We teach girls shame. Close your legs, cover yourself. We make them feel as though by being born female, they're already guilty of something.
So I think right now we have the chance to be heard, and that's why we're doing it. We're all doing it because we're asking to try and elicit change.
No woman should sit down and allow a man to speak about her reproductive rights.
but it is about opening spaces for other women and not to be seen as token, and that because I'm a woman, I'm only speaking about women at the table. No, I'm speaking about the side of the table that is empty and that women have to be there. So
I want us to leave this world better than we found it. And how I choose to affect change is by speaking up, by being the first, and by being the dominant.
Over 4 billion of the world's population are girls and women, also faced with challenges that affect our world and contributing solutions to them. Let's have conversations and get some answers to them through their eyes and voices. Tune in to Perspectives, where we discuss important issues ranging from climate change, politics, health, the economy, and lifestyle on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Weekdays from midday. Perspectives. Conversations that matter.
Welcome to Super Citizen at Sunset on Citizen FM 93.7. This is the fun-packed radio show you heard about. Did you miss any one of our programming today? Join me, Diddy, from the Citizen Pot when we run through our programs from sunrise. Stay abreast, get informed on news roundup. It even gets better. Do you think you know Nigeria? Answer 3 questions correctly and be one of our daily winners on Quizzes. It is the full package. Let's take you back, way back on African Vibes. Let's celebrate the African people, the rich cultures across borders, the languages, the good food, and wealth of excellence on African Vibes. Join me every Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. It is on Citizen FM 93.7.
Thank you for staying tuned. It's still Insight on Citizen FM 93.7. It's 10:42 now, and we are still expecting your phone calls. You can call us on 0903 2220 797. That's 0903 2229 797. You can also call us on 0818 2220205, or you can call us on 0808 222037. Any of these numbers, let's talk. What are your reactions to what the presidential candidates are saying about the energy crisis in Nigeria? Also, we also had one of them, this time a vice presidential candidate for the African Democratic Congress, Ahmed Buhari. He was on Insight also, I think, on 2 occasions, and he also bared his mind on how his party intends to tackle the energy crisis in Nigeria. Ahmed Buhari, vice presidential candidate for the Africa Democratic Congress. Let's listen to him.
From the south come to my hometown in Niger State and do not know how to even relate with the locals. Don't forget, a policeman is supposed to be a local man, but we have segregated them to barracks. We have withdrawn them from the people, and to make things even worse today, it is even the soldiers that are supposed to be in the barracks who are actually living in the cities. All of these kind of things are things that we should look at critically and see how we can start building the trust in the hearts of the people that indeed the police can be that which we want them to become.
Oh, well, if you're just joining us, this is Insight on Citizen FM 93.7, and my guest is Ahmed Buhari. He's a vice presidential candidate for the African Democratic Congress, and we've been picking his brains on how the party thinks, what the party intends to do if given the opportunity by the Nigerian people. Inside, we'll take a short break. We will return.
Investing in insecurity and security as a whole, to ensure that all of these plans that we want to put in place can actually be materialized. But you see, when I'm asked these questions, I try to go back to what I think is the basis. Now, for Dumebi and Ahmed Buhari campaign organization and the plans that we've been putting in place, one of our key focus is a civil service structure. We believe the key civil service structure is the bedrock that holds together all the fragments that work for us as a country, which is why we have critically examined it, and we have seen that the reasons why there seems to be a little bit here and there in all the things that we're trying to achieve and realizing that they are not able to hold is because those key principles who are in the civil service, the public service, and the armed forces are not addressed in the way they're supposed to be addressed. I just want you to give me 2 minutes so that I can summarize what I think we should do with the civil service. Every now and then you see the civil service, going on strike, marching on the streets, demanding for a 30% increment in salaries. The moment they start making those marches, the market women are listening. The people on the streets are listening. Their house helps are listening. Their mothers and sisters and uncles and relatives in the villages are also listening. And so, as you're getting that 30% shoot.
Yes, that was Ahmed Buhari, vice presidential candidate for the African Democratic Congress. We have a caller here. He's been on the line for so long. So sorry. Let's take. Hello. Oh, I think we've eventually lost him. Please, you could call back. The number to call is 0903 22797. You can also call us on 0818 2222205. Or in the alternative, you can call us on 0808 222203. Any of these numbers, let's talk. Also, another vice presidential candidate was on Insight, Zego Haru Aruna, vice presidential candidate of the People's Redemption Party. He also spoke on what his party intends to do if given the opportunity by Nigeria, especially as it concerns the energy sector. Let's listen to him.
energy in this country has been a problem for a while. But as you said, the oil and gas, and then electricity. Electricity, for one, we have had inadequate power for a long time in this country. We have, this year so far, I think have had 7 major collapses of the grid. And over the past 7 years, I think 98 collapses, major collapse of the grid. And it shows there's a problem. That means there's no adequate investment into the infrastructure, and probably we're also working with an archaic system, which has been the problem for a long time. I think when this administration came in, the wheeling capacity of the transmission lines were, if I'm not wrong, were about 750 thousand megawatts. But now it's being increased to about, 8 or so. But it's still inadequate because of the decay in the infrastructure, so it can't even wheel as much. And once you wheel beyond a certain capacity, it fails. So then also, the way the grid is structured is also a problem. So we need to invest heavily on the grid. And of course, that's only part, the transmission line is the only part that has not been privatized. It's held by government. Of course, it should be so because it's what do you call it? Because it's the only one we have, and it's definitely a security. It will be a security risk to put it in the hands of anyone. And we have the discos who are rejecting power. And the reason being that they will argue that because of the need to balance this archaic grid, there's need to wheel out power to all fringes of the community, and because it's the system, the power system is structured in a way that you cross-subsidize. So there are people who are paying as low as 4 naira, for instance, and people who are paying about 30-something or 40 naira per kilowatt hour. Now, the idea is that those people in the rural areas pay low, and those in the urban areas and commercial areas pay high. You cross-subsidize. Now, that means you need to give a lot of power to those people who are paying. But those people who pay 4 naira actually do not use the power. They don't pay, and are not metered too. So, but to balance the grid, you send power everywhere. You wheel it everywhere. And the discos are finding difficult collecting from this poor, the lower, and then they have to balance. So they reject power. By rejecting the power, you overload the grid, you cause it to fail, and then also you cause what do you call it? You are not able to get the funds to pay the system, so the GENCOs are also having issues. So it's a major problem that as a government you have to look at it. But the truth is that, is the tariff even cost reflective? I do not think so, because I would say power is domiciled in the dollar. Everything in power is a dollar, from the gas, from GENCOs they use to pump, because people assume that Nigeria is a hydropower driven. Actually, we're a thermal power driven country. We're not hydro. Hydro is about 25-30%. We're actually a gas driven country. So even from the gas, it's in dollars. So all to the spare parts, anything you use in dollars. So you need to give a cost-reflective tariff to this discourse. But now, should government play a role? I think government should play a role in the first instance, subsidizing cost. But to who? Not to the discourse, to the individuals. So, for instance, I give you a cost-reflective tariff, and your tariff jumps to 100 naira per kilowatt hour. Where do I subsidize? I subsidize it to you by making sure what you consume, you pay 40 naira, for instance, and I pay the balance of 60 naira on your behalf. for a period of time whereby when you see the benefit of having 24/7 power, as against using your I pass my neighbor, or even you are ready to pay more to have that stability. It goes the same thing to the petroleum sector. You're a country which is you're an oil producer, but unfortunately you don't refine. If you don't refine, the cost of your petrol is in dollars. So why are you not refining? What's the problem? So I think with the PIB now coming into law and all that, you get private investors coming in to set up probably their own refineries and stuff. We'll be able to checkmate that with Dangote refinery coming up and all that. But the truth is, you cannot produce oil and take it out to refine and bring it back to the in-country and claim you want to sell it cheap. And then if you must give subsidies, let's be very honest, who are the real beneficiaries of subsidies? You and me. The people in the rural areas don't benefit from subsidy. Because go to any filling station in the rural area, the pump price is jacked up. So they have been suffering. But once they increase the price here, we start shouting. The truth is we're the true beneficiaries. How many cars do I have? How many cars do other people have in the cities? Do we really need those cars? But we need the subsidies so that we can fund our lifestyles. Well, the common man who is in the village that you're supposed to be more concerned about, he's not benefiting from the subsidy. So those are the issues, and those are the things we will definitely have to look at.
Okay. Let's stay with... Well, yes, that was the vice presidential candidate of the People's Redemption Party, Zego Haruna, telling us what his party intends to do concerning the challenge of the energy sector. So that's our package on Insight today. Tomorrow we will look at another critical sector and what the candidates are saying, because we need to hold the candidates and their parties accountable to whatever they say during campaigns at the end of the day. Tomorrow promises to be another interesting time on Insights. Don't forget, time is 10 a.m. When Insight will be back on air. My name is Lawrence Umoette. Enjoy the rest of your day.
We teach girls shame. Close your legs, cover yourself. We make them feel as though by being born female, they're already guilty of something.
So I think right now we have the chance to be heard, and that's why we're doing it. We're all doing it because we're asking to try and elicit change.
No woman should sit down and allow a man to speak about her reproductive rights.
But it is about opening spaces for other women and not to be seen as token, and that because I'm a woman, I'm only speaking about women at the table. No, I'm speaking about side of the table that is empty, and that women have to be there. So
I want us to leave this world better than we found it. And how I choose to affect change is by speaking up, by being the first, and by being the dominant.
Over 4 billion of the world's population are girls and women, also faced with challenges that affect our world and contributing solutions to them. Let's have conversations and get some answers to them through their eyes and voices. Tune in to Perspectives, where we discuss important issues ranging from climate change, politics, health, the economy, and lifestyle on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Weekdays from midday. Perspectives. Conversations that matter.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Super Citizen at Sunset on Citizen FM 93.7. This is the fun-packed radio show you heard about. Did you miss any one of our programming today? Join me, Diddy, from the Citizen Pot when we run through our programs from sunrise. Stay abreast, get informed on news roundup. It even gets better. Do you think you know Nigeria? Answer 3 questions correctly and be one of our daily winners on Quizzes. It is the full package. Let's take you back, way back on African Vibes. Let's celebrate the African people, the rich cultures across borders, the languages, the good food, and wealth of excellence on African Vibes. Join me every Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. It is on Citizen FM 93.7.
This is 93.7 Citizen FM, Abuja. Time for news on the hour.
It's 11 a.m. Good morning. You're still tuning and listening to Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Here's the news at the top of the hour. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, has raised the alarm that the forthcoming elections will experience risk, cancellation or postponement if there is no improvement in the security challenges being witnessed across the country. Mahmoud Yakubu, who was represented by the Chairman Board of Electoral Institute, Abdullahi Zuru, made this known at the validation of election security training resources held in Abuja. The INEC boss, however, assured all stakeholders that the Commission is not leaving anything to chance in ensuring the security is provided for election personnel and materials. He said INEC commends the fact that the election security is vital to democratic consolidation through the provision of an enabling environment for the conduct of free, fair, credible and inclusive elections, and thus strengthening the electoral process. The United Nations held a major conference in Geneva on Monday with Pakistan aimed at marshalling support to rebuild the country after devastating floods in what is expected to be a major test case for who pays for climate disasters. Record monsoon rains and melting glaciers last September displaced some 8 million people and killed at least 1,700 in a catastrophe blamed on climate change. Most of the waters have now receded, but the reconstruction work, estimated at about $16.3 billion to rebuild millions of homes and thousands of kilometers of roads and railways, is just beginning, and millions more people may slide into poverty. Islamabad, whose delegation was led by Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, presented a recovery framework at the conference alongside United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, French President Emmanuel Macron. Guterres, who visited Pakistan in September, has previously described the destruction in the country as